Then you can start your questions. Okay, right, you're off.
Okay, that should mean you were born in 1934, is that right?
That's right, May 34.
Okay. May?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, this is why these are fine. They never do birthday. So, I'm just going to use...
Yeah, well, it's
I can't really read down to Henry. How was life growing up in the 1930s and 1940s compared to growing up now?
Well, I think it was, on the effect, of course, it was difficult to start with, you know, especially because, as you know, the rationing was put on. We were sort of limited. You couldn't go into a shop and get what you wanted like you can now. And then you had to have these books with coupons in it, and you're only allowed to buy so many sort of ounces of sugar, you know, butter, cheese. The cheese farm was more pleasant because, especially in the country, agricultural workers and people working on the grain, the girls and the men, had extra rations of cheese, you know, because it was good for the strength. But other than that, nowadays, well, generally, I was always, although as a child, you didn't sort of sense the fear that I think people do these days, maybe, because I didn't find myself afraid. You know, we were being bombed with bombs at night. The village had aircraft defence things. It was a very loud environment. You didn't get much sleep some nights at all. And in the daytime you were at school, your science would go, you had to go to an air raid shelter, so lessons were disrupted. Education was pretty poor, because most teachers had gone into the armed forces. A lot of teachers were good, but they've been brought out of retirement. But of course they were not sort of, past their best, so to speak. But in general, at the end of the war, I think generally it was okay because we had these supplement things for children. So capsules of different oil and orange juice and stuff that was not available in the shop. I think there was an age there of children that came out of that particular period quite healthy, despite the fact they hadn't had the food they have today. You know, it was basic food, but it was always good food. So they said substitute these jars of malt or something running coffee, but not terribly pleasant. But this is more for her to replay to. I think she has to write a report. You learnt skills that you found because playing, then you made your own enjoyment to it because there was no other thing to do, you know, unless you had a very rich family. No toys as such being manufactured. So you did outside, you did your own sort of thing. And today I don't think they depend on the present day anyway. I don't know what's happened in the meantime, because it's been a gradual process, but it seems to accelerate these days into an electronic age, which is good, but I don't know what the implication of that is as far as children are concerned. Whether they're going to lose some of the physical health because of it, I don't know, because do they get enough fresh air today? I don't know. Or some do and some don't. But, does that cover that part? No.
Yeah. I were taking a lot of space and I wanted to like abbreviations. So the good thing about this is so whenever we make a mistake, it automatically corrects it. So it's like autocorrect, so I can like type really fast and get like 10 seconds wrong. And yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna start off. Okay. Next question. Would you go on vacations, and if so, where would you go?
At the moment, or then,
Then.
we didn't get a chance to do that then, because the only thing, well, in that age, I mean, to what age do you mean?
Like when you were little.
Little, but we didn't go on holidays and vacations. There wasn't the opportunity, and the only after the war, I think people only went to the nearest sort of seaside town, you know, which in the Midlands was a long way away, anyways. But during the war, you couldn't travel that far, and most of the seaside places were all barbed wired up, and you've got sea defences in to repel any attack from the forces that. But is that satisfying?
Okay.
So then, no, it was only when it gets to the 1950s and 1960s, the English people started to have enough money and the ability to go and fly somewhere. Not that during the 40s it was pretty austere, you know, wasn't possible really. But we didn't think anything of it because that was, for me, for people my age, I mean, we didn't lose that because of the war time. So, I mean, 9, 10, 34, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 44, 45 finished. Still at school, finished school in the mid-40s, late 40s. And it was beginning to go then, you know, mostly in the late 40s, early 50s. Towns like Horsham, or I was at Maidenhead at the time, the only sort of going out was probably a day trip on a coach down to the seaside. But you didn't go to Spain then, or America, or anywhere, because there wasn't enough. Now, holidays and planes could take you anywhere. But, not in those days. So it was that is a totally different existence now. You've got very much a culture of different, you know, probably is that what your sort of thing is looking for, the lack of all the stuff you get these days. But we didn't get the things like telephones or laptops, and if you wanted to do a calculation you had to do it by hand. There was no pocket calculators doing maths at school or anything like that. I mean, it was unheard of. They were still using these beads, you know, the abacus type thing years ago. In fact, the school I went to, didn't have paper or it was still a slate with chalk, and you'd do the writing on it, and the teacher would look at it and then mark it off in a book, and then you'd wipe the slate clean and do the next lesson. It's crazy. Yeah, that was even back then, because paper was difficult to get hold of. It was the plants that had production of raw material, stuff like paper, and that was used for other projects.
Okay. Okay, I'll finish that up there. Okay, what type, this sort of relates to what you said a little bit of earlier, but what types of games do you play, like toys, etc.? Like, what things did you use to entertain yourself?
If you're on your own, you'd probably have some pre-war metal toy of a lorry, or bikes were a bit rare, but it was mostly old stuff that had been produced in the 30s that was still kicking around, hadn't been damaged too much, that was available. Push bikes could have been, but they were pretty old. And the rest of it was playing in the woods or something and putting a rope over a tree and making your own swings, you know, doing the physical things a lot of people do now, you know, as a little hobby on the side, but that was the full time once you left school, and especially in the summer. And it was double summertime in England. I don't know whether you do that in America. Do you have a time for summer and winter? Do you change your clocks? Do you? During that time they did a doubles in order to get food production of some sort. They doubled it. It was light till nearly midnight then in midsummer. You know, so we were used to play football till quite late, and we should have done. You know. But, so that was it basically. A lot of it is making their own. You went with your friends and you made your own knowing games up and entertained yourselves really. Read, you know, there's books to read, but again they were all old books.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
How did you keep in touch with your friends?
Only by meeting them at school, and then if you had a special friend, you make arrangements. They'd come and spend a day in the holidays playing around your house, or you'd go to their place. You had small, but it had to be in a tighter community because you couldn't travel. You could go on a bus, but which we did, but not. That was too involved. Used to use a bus for shopping and stuff like that. You used to go with your parents, but not to. Oh, it doesn't. That won't matter, no.
I forgot.
It's only the sound I think they want, isn't it? If you watch the video. Right, next one.
Okay, what if your friend moved away and you still wanted to be in contact with them? Would you would mail be possible, like mailing them?
Oh yes, but not like it is now. I think, in fact, quite honestly, the education system wasn't as good as it is now, and I mean, you could write miserably, not very good, you know, and so it was easy just to talk, and so your circle of friends stayed close knit to you because it was easier to talk than write letters and stuff like that. And no, there was always cards, you know, you'd make cards at school, like that, Christmas cards and stuff like that. But no, it wasn't easy, but I know what you mean. But then we were all, I don't know, I'm talking now about in the country, very much the countryside, whereas town, people living in busy urban areas would be different, probably have a different culture as well. But when you're out in the countryside, you're on your own a lot of the time because the houses were quite remote, and some farms, for instance. You know. You used to keep animals. I used to look after rabbits and chicken, have your own sort of thing, that sort of stuff. So you had a different, you had little, shall I say, caring for something. At the same time, you provided food at a certain time of the year as well. You know, so it was sort of accepted a bit better. But in the towns and that, they couldn't do that, or not so easily anyway. But yeah, dog. We always had dogs. Try and keep the rats down. But with cattle and horses and stuff around, it was quite interesting, you know. But so there's two different environments really for your project. You know, I'm talking in terms of a very, very rural area. You know, that's not like being in a town, not like Horsham, for instance, or Richmond. Right.